And another growing epidemic that's really hard to believe. Heroin taking hold in our community, claiming thousands of young lives every year.
The reality is Richmond, Chesterfield, and Henrico all rank in the top 5 for heroin overdoses in the entire state. Now some parents, once silenced by the shame of addiction, are fighting back, hoping to open some eyes. Tracy Sears and photojournalist Eli Gardner reports.
I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to die.
The voices of addiction.
I lost my best friend at 16 to opiate use.
They're the cries for help from a silenced generation.
The stigma of addiction is so frowned upon and so negative that kids aren't speaking out about their problem.
Adam Abubakar knew that shame. A loving brother and son, an aspiring EMT. Adam's world came tumbling down because of a heroin addiction. This past fall, his father, Omar, told Adam they were going to finally celebrate his 1 year in recovery.
And I said, you know, me and you, we're going to have to go to a special place. He said, Dad, one day at a time. He gave me a hug. And he said, I love you, Dad. I said, I love you, Adam. I said, I'll see you tomorrow.
Adam died of a heroin overdose 3 days later on September 30th. Just 7 months after sitting down with us at the McShin Foundation, a drug addiction treatment center on Richmond's north side.
We've had about over 600 folks come through McShin in 10 years, and these are the ones that I know for certain have passed away.
It's the tragic reality founder John Shinholzer says he wants young folks in recovery to know.
Yeah, you see these 18-year-olds, these 17-year-olds, these 16-year-olds, and it's sad to think 6% of them are going to be dead.
According to the chief medical examiner, the number of overdose deaths in Virginia has skyrocketed. 3,000 lives in just 5 years. Many deaths are being linked to heroin. Narcotics agents say it is cheap, it's potent, and it's not just being sold in the alleys of inner cities, but in affluent neighborhoods and schools across the state.
I get asked, weekly if I want to, go drink after school or, go shoot up heroin. I could point out probably 10 people just walking from my first period class and my second period class that I could go to if I wanted a certain type of drug. And it wouldn't be hard to get it all.
And for many young people like Adam, the attraction to heroin stems from the abuse of legally prescribed drugs. Drugs, students tell us, are readily available.
What I mostly see is the prescription drugs like Xanax and Adderall and Vyvanse and stuff like that, and painkillers.
Hello.
But even as a medical doctor, Omar Abubakar didn't realize the extent of his own son's addiction to painkillers.
I have a daughter who lost her battle with addiction in December.
Neither did many of these parents.
Her brother and I are the ones that had to make the decision to take her off life support.
Every Wednesday, this small group of parents meet at McShin.
We're trying to put a face to this disease and say, we are the face of addiction.
Debbie, Connie, and Heidi, all mothers of addicts, started Families for Recovery this year to help the thousands of young people struggling to get clean and to warn others.
He was so hateful to us.
They're speaking at schools, to parents, students, anyone who will listen.
They don't need to be thrown into jail. They need help. They need treatment.
Any families here for the first time on a Wednesday night? Hardest thing in a person's life ever is to admit I got a problem and ask for help.
It's here that Shinholzer hopes teens and young adults will find it. But he says society must be willing to let go of the stigma of addiction first. Omar Abubakar says he was guilty of that. He says he'll never forget the day his son told him that the person who'd given him heroin for the first time had died.
I said, good. And he said, Dad, excuse me a second. He said, Dad, he's an addict. He's sick. Why do you say that? I felt so bad. I was caught between, my love for my child and lost my compassion to other people.
This month, the Abubakars donated $15,000 to McShin.
When Adam passed away, we felt like we were on like this island by ourselves, and then one by one people came forward.
The Abu Bakrs say they have lost Adam, but not hope that they can spare someone else from burying a child.
I just want to tell people the pain that you go through once the fight is in your house and once you're fighting for your child to stay sober or stay recovery, and you fail, that means, you know, your losses are immeasurable.
Well, this drug epidemic is not limited to Virginia. Nationwide, overdoses are now killing more people than car accidents. This year, Virginia lawmakers passed 4 bills to help reduce heroin deaths. 3 of those bills passed, but a 4th bill, one that would allow homicide charges for drug dealers, failed to go through. Attorney General Mark Herring says he believes that legislation has a much better chance next year. Back to you.